Hi, I'm Jeanne Murphy, host of Talented People Radio, produced by Mariah Media. Our show is fun, and we specialize on interviewing some of the most awesome people from around the world. Tune in and watch our live stream on Facebook, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you can watch past episodes. Talented People airs every Wednesday from 3 to 4 p.m. Join us for some fun. Good afternoon. This is Talented People. I'm Jeanne Murphy. Hope you're having a great afternoon. This is Talented People, as you know, and my guest today is Dottie Polak from the Weichert Flemington office. She's going to tell us all about her experiences with real estate, what's going on in the marketplace, and I want to give you an update on the weather if you happen to be in the area today. Chance of rain after 4 p.m., cloudy, high about 44. Rain mainly before 5 a.m. tonight, patchy fog after 2 with a low around 37. Thursday, chance of rain before 8 a.m., then slight chance of showers after 8 a.m. again. Patchy fog around 8, otherwise high of 48. Showers likely mainly after 8 o'clock on Thursday night with a low around 41. Showers again mainly before 8 a.m., then a chance of rain after 2 p.m., mostly cloudy with a high of 54 on Friday. Slight chance of rain before 8 p.m., partly cloudy with a low about 22 on Friday night, and then Saturday, sunny all day with a high of 34. Mostly clear with a low of 16 on Saturday night, and then sunny again with a high of 37 on Sunday. So we're going to go to our real quick break here on Talented People, and then we'll be right back with Dottie. Stay with us. Thanks for listening and watching in.
Are you looking to get your message in front of a qualified audience through all the noise out there today? Consider taking an advertisement out on Hunterdon Chamber Radio, WHCR DB, the voice of business. Contact the Chamber today at 908-782-7115 or give us an email at info@hunterdon-chamber.org.
All right, welcome back. Thanks again. This is Talented People, our 3 o'clock show here on Hunterdon Chamber Radio, streaming from the Hunterdon County Chamber of Commerce offices. And I'm always happy to be here, and I love to feature talented people. And today I am inviting and have brought Dottie Polak here from the Weichert Flemington office. She's a realtor, and she's a really, really special person. And she's kind of like the star of, I guess, the radio shows here today, since she just got off with Richard. So welcome, Dottie.
Thank you.
It's so good to have you here.
Thank you for inviting me.
Oh my gosh, my pleasure. We've had a good time together, haven't we?
Yes, we do.
All right, so let's just start off. Why don't you tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do?
I'm a real estate agent in the Weichert office in Flemington. I've been selling real estate for about 7 years. I love it. I love meeting new people, going into people's homes, being a part of their life for the short time that we're together. It's a very intimate relationship, I would say, getting to know someone and their personal journeys through buying and purchasing.
What made you get into real estate?
I always loved being around people. My previous career was faux painting. I owned my own business, so I was always familiar and comfortable with walking into someone's home and guiding them in a direction of what colors to paint or what design they should do on the walls, because the faux had different designs to it. So I was always comfortable with doing that, and I think I transitioned well from one career to the next.
So now you've been in since how long? 7 years?
About 7 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so do you service anywhere other than the state of New Jersey?
Yes, I also have my license in PA.
Okay.
So I handle Bucks County, Mercer County, Middlesex County, Somerset County. I'm all over the place.
Wow. Good to know. All right. So now tell us a little bit about, a typical day in your life.
Wake up, go to work. Come home, go to work.
The life of a realtor.
We have the luxury of being able to work from home,
Mm-hmm.
when you have your computers and your printers at home. Every day's different. Every day is completely different. I can have showings one day. I'll have paperwork to do the next day. It's crazy. Sometimes I'm on a radio.
Yeah, and you also get to help Richard with design ideas.
Yes. And, it's just filling my schedule with appointments, and weekends I'll do open houses and more showings and things like that.
So what about, can you tell us a little bit about how you feel about the state of the real estate market here in New Jersey right about now?
About now, I am overwhelmingly busy. It's insane.
Go ahead.
I can't believe it. From last winter to all the other winters to this winter, I don't know. It's my schedule feels like it's April, May. It's crazy. It's good. Buyers are out there. Serious buyers are definitely out there. They're coming out in the pouring rain, in the cold, they're serious. And they're out there.
Yes, and I think it's so important to share with everybody out there because there's so many people who may have the ability to buy but are afraid that there's really nothing out there or that everybody's ditching their houses and leaving. But the truth is there's not enough houses. So if you're out there and you're thinking of selling, or if you're for sale by owner, you should sell with a real estate agent because basically there's not enough houses right now. That's what the problem is, right?
Exactly. Inventory is
dispel
low.
the myth to everybody because it's so fun to learn this.
Inventory is definitely low. It was last year also. We're hoping to get more inventory by the spring. But when something comes on the market and it's in pristine condition, it's desirable, it goes, and most of the time multiple offers.
Oh my gosh, multiple offers. That's awesome. What about so they were talking, we had a different show with Ben on from the office, and he was talking about how some people, if they think they should hold off and wait till the spring to put it on the market, basically they're doing what everybody else is doing. So instead of doing themselves a favor and getting in touch with you over there at Weichert, Flemington, the Flemington office, Weichert, Dottie Polak, then they're basically going to put themselves into a competition with other properties if they wait.
Yes. Sell now.
Yeah.
Homes are moving.
I just love talking to everybody and finding out about it. And it is funny, the open houses, these buyers are just coming in droves.
Yes. Yes. You know.
I know. I'm having so much fun. I got my license in September, but I like getting to know everybody. And that's why I'm having so much fun. I've been having so much fun, as you can tell. But anyway, so so tell us more about it. Like, tell us tips that you might want to tell people. Let's start with buyers. Tips for buyers.
Well, the interest rates are still pretty stable. I don't know about heights going up, but as of now, they're still pretty stable. I'd say now is definitely a good time to buy because there are some homes still out there. There's never a bad time to purchase. Homes, hopefully more will come on the market in the spring, but we don't know.
And I was also trying to make sure people out there who were interested, say they are a couple or an individual, and they've never bought a house before, and they go on Zillow and they're able to look up anything and find anything. What is it that makes you, as the real estate agent, important in the fact that if they have never bought a house before, they need to understand why they need a real estate agent for free, and what you do and what I do, but mostly you?
Well, there's a lot to the process, and we are here to guide them along the way and give them tips and pointers along the way as far as homes. Different areas have different requirements for closing as far as township inspections or whatever they require for the CO. About their inspections, I'll guide them along the way to tell them, what type of inspection they'll need to get. Give them some inspectors that they could call and get quotes from. So I think part of our job is to not only be there and answer all their questions for them, but help guide them along the way and give them a little bit at a time. You don't want to overwhelm them, but yeah, definitely give them an idea of what the market is, what the absorption rate is in the township, how quickly homes are selling.
Can you explain that absorption rate? Because that's a really cool thing out there.
Yes, the absorption rate is the amount of homes, if you're doing it in general without a price point, if the amount of homes that are on the market divided by the amount of homes that recently sold in the last 30 days gives you a number. If it's under 5 or 6, usually under 6 means it is a seller's market.
We just came up in Raritan and Flemington areas.
4.5.
Yes.
4.5. Yes.
That's a good sign for sellers.
It sure is. That's definitely a seller's market in Raritan Township.
Yeah.
Some areas are over 6. That means it's a buyer's market.
That's so cool. Learn this
is.
stuff. All right, we're going to go to our first break. This is Talented People. I'm Jeanne Murphy. My guest again is Dottie Polak, and she's with Weichert, Flemington, New Jersey. So if you're interested in buying or selling, get in touch with her. We'll be right back, and thanks for listening in.
You're listening to WHCR DB, HunterdonChamberRadio.com. Brought to you by the Hunterdon County Chamber of Commerce, the voice of business.
Are you struggling to find the right person to stay in that critical role in your company? Trying to attract and retain millennials? Regional Personnel is your staffing solution. Located in Lebanon, New Jersey, Regional Personnel is an ASA-certified, privately held staffing and recruiting firm providing you with everything from temporary to permanent employees. As ASA-certified professionals, we employ the latest tools and techniques to find, screen, and present to you the best talent that fits your needs. The result? Access to top talent in the shortest time with the lowest chance of turnover. We guarantee it. So call Regional today at 908-534-8113 or visit us on the web at regionalpersonnel.com.
This is Tony Clark, paraplanner at Patton Heidi and Associates. Americans believe they should be in charge of their own future, how they will live tomorrow. Since 1894, Ameriprise Financial has worked for their clients' futures, helping millions of Americans retire on their terms, when they want, where they want, doing what they want. Today, Patton Heidi and Associates, a financial advisory practice of Ameriprise Financial Services, Inc., remains true to the vision of always putting clients first. We are ready to help you put a confident retirement more within reach. Put the strength of a leader in retirement planning to work for you through a personal one-to-one relationship. Patton Heidi and Associates will work with you to develop a plan to help you pursue your retirement goals. Call today at 908-713-6600. Office is located at 1318 Route 31 North, Annandale, New Jersey. Investment advisory products and services are made available through Ameriprise Financial Services, Inc., a registered investment advisor. Ameriprise Financial Services, Inc., member FINRA and SIPC.
Everybody over there, get on up. Everybody right there, get into it. Everybody right there, get involved. Everybody get.
Did you know the Hunterdon County Chamber of Commerce has over 20 active committees that you can participate in? Committees range from focus on business and government to economic development to events like our annual business expo. Contact the Chamber for more information today at 908-782-7115 or email us at info@hunterdon-chamber.org. The Hunterdon County Chamber of Commerce, the voice of business.
Okay, welcome back to Talented People. I'm Jeanne Murphy. Thanks so much for watching. We are having a good time here. My guest today is Dottie Polak, and she's a Weichert Flemington real estate agent, and she's kind of been my mentor, I've got to say, in the last couple of months. I've had such a good time getting to know her, and I really wanted to share her with you so that you could get to know her if you're getting ready to buy something or sell your house. So go ahead, back to you. You were talking about some tips for, let's keep with the buyers, then we'll get to sellers.
So when I get a call from a buyer who's in the beginning process, I tell them we have plenty of time. You know, we don't have to rush, but I think it's a good idea to get started. Just go, let's look at a few so you have an idea of what your money will get you. And definitely get pre-qualified first. That's really important so somebody knows what price point they could be looking in. You don't want to be looking in $400,000 homes and realize you got 300 is your tops. That's negative. So you want to make sure they're pre-qualified first, and then they feel more comfortable.
And if they're listening out there and they wanted to get to, to see some houses, they don't have to. If they don't have a mortgage person, then you could refer them to one, right? So they don't have to pick up the phone and call a real estate agent.
We have a mortgage guy that's in our office, and he's very knowledgeable, very experienced. So I always let him talk to them. It's free. It's free to get some information from him, pick his brain, and he could pre-qualify them and make sure the mortgage process goes through when we're ready at that point. Another thing that I'll do with buyers is most of the time they're looking online for homes. And all of those sites that are out there, the Realtor.com, the Zillow, the Trulia, all of those, when a new listing comes on the market, it could take up to 2 to 3 days for it to zip out to those sites. So what I like to do is I like to tell them that I will set them up with an auto email. So when something comes on the market, they'll get that email immediately. I get a copy of the email, and then I could say to them, look, I just saw this one come up. I think this fits your criteria. Do you want to take a look at it?
So what you're saying is that if, say, someone knew that they wanted to live in a certain development, like Stone Garage or Carriage Gate, whatever. So you could actually, if there was nothing available because it sold so fast because there's no inventory, that basically you could put them in your system so that if something comes up in Carriage Gate, they get notified of it before Zillow and Trulia and Realtor.com because it takes 3 days to get to them.
It takes a couple days to go out.
That's really cool.
Yeah, they could get an immediate
I love learning
email.
this stuff. Yeah, I think that's really important for people because
them
there's nothing,
updated.
especially when there's nothing available right now.
Exactly.
And if you get an idea of what they are looking for, you can even make it more specific so that they don't have to waste their time. At the end of the day, Weichert is an advertiser of Zillow and Trulia. So a lot of times I think that people out there who are buying or considering the platforms like Zillow, they're thinking that the real estate agents are not involved in that process because they can see what's there, but they have to know that it's a much bigger network. I mean, Weichert is there serving people who are clicking to go find an agent, so that at the end of the day, even if a buyer comes in on an open house or something, is unagented and walks in, at the end of the day, they really should have a realtor. Talk about when someone comes
Yes.
into your open houses as a buyer.
We love when buyers come in.
Yeah.
And we'll tell them, we're here to work with them, to help them out. If there any other homes you want to look at, can I help you more with this house? Have you been pre-qualified? So we help to guide them along the way also.
And then when they do use your services, I want to make sure everybody understands, again, it's the seller that's actually paying the commissions.
That's correct.
It's when you represent the two, maybe a couple that walks in on the open house and they do not have a real estate agent. And it's important to be very honest with the real estate agent that if they ask you if you're working with a real estate agent, because if you are working with another agent, don't lie about it, right? Because
Exactly.
it's like, it's fine as long as they know, as long as the real estate agents know that they're working with someone else. But when they're not, then it's an opportunity for you to create a relationship and then hold that buyer, that couple or whoever through the whole process, which is negotiating, even if they want to put in a lower offer than maybe what's the list price, and then being able to make sure that with the inspections, like give us an example of when
Well,
inspections
as far
come
as-
back bad, what happens?
Well, back to what you said about the negotiating.
Mm-hmm.
What I'll do is I'll show them what recently sold.
Oh, okay.
So they know, you don't always want to come in real low. If the house next door sold for a certain price, why should you come low? Shouldn't it be pretty close to what just sold?
Yeah, especially if there's nothing else there and there's perhaps other people multiple
Yes.
offers. You just don't want to be rude.
Right. But as far as inspections, it depends on how the inspections go. They would forward their inspection report to the attorney and then discuss the results and any requests that they have. You don't ask for things that are cosmetic to be done. It's things that are structural, environmental, electrical, that type of thing that you would ask for. But if somebody sees some chipping on the walls, you don't ask for that type of thing.
Right. So, okay. So then finally, buyers, do you have any sense of if someone's a first-time home buyer, if they've never been qualified before, they should not only come to you so that you can refer some people like Ed Morris from Weichert office or whoever, mortgage guys, they can actually get them some incentives too. Like there's certain things that first-time home buyers can get, like less money down perhaps.
There are so many different programs for loans. That's what the mortgage rep is there for.
And that's
to let
so
them know.
great. So-
it is. There's first-time home buyer programs. There's all different types of programs.
What I've noticed is a lot of times the unagented person on the internet looking to find something is very confident that they can do this because they're used to being able to click, see, I got the price, I got the pictures, I'm going to go see it on the open house, I can handle this. But what it really is important to, again, reiterate that there is a service that the real estate agent provides. And that makes it that much easier for then just trying to do it yourself on the buyer side. And again, getting to know the mortgage bankers, making sure they even understand what these products are that you're talking about and all the benefits. It's like so incredible. And so, okay, so now pretend that we got the buyers all squared away and they move in on their house. Before we get to that, what have you ever run into, like where there's a roofing problem or something? How do those things get worked out?
If there's something very seriously wrong or comes up in an inspection report, you negotiate with the seller. Seller may already know this or maybe not. That's all becomes another negotiating period. And hopefully things get resolved. I've seen deals come apart because of that, often, because of results that seller and buyer cannot come to agreement on.
Right. And that mostly happens without a real estate agent doing the
Exactly.
third party negotiations.
Exactly.
Yeah. And it's typical too. Like, let's just make sure everybody knows out there that it's very typical for an inspection report to come back with a couple things at least, maybe even a roof thing. It's
Right,
not,
or septic.
It's not to be afraid of. You know what I mean? Because it's like basically, like you said, the sellers already know. This point, they're happy probably that they've got a buyer. They're a little more inclined to be able to do something to make it
work
work
with them.
out. Yeah.
Yeah. And the thing too is you're buying a used house. You go in with a list of every single thing, blinds disrepaired, a crack in a window or something. This is a used home. If you want brand new, we'll buy brand new. So you have to have that thought process before you start looking that you can't expect a seller to make a home brand new.
Nice. Profound. Aha.
Yes.
That's good. Okay. So now let's talk about sellers. Okay. Talk about a typical day. Perhaps someone calls you up and says they're thinking of selling their home. Can you give us kind of a, what is your procedure like? What do you say to them? What do they have to do?
Well, what I'll do is I'll go into their home, and I like to make it into a two appointment setup. Sometimes I'm not able to, depending on their schedule or my schedule, but a lot of times I like to do it as a 2 appointment. What I'll do on the first appointment is get a look-see of their home. There are homes around here that are in communities and developments, but we have in Hunterdon County very sparse homes on different sizes of property. Sometimes it's hard to do a comparable. So what I like to do is get a visual of the home, see what's updated in the house, the kitchen, the bathrooms, is there a finished basement? How many acres? Is there an in-ground pool, above-ground pool? What about the house? Style of the house. And then what I'll do is I'll go back and do my research. I'll look to see what recently sold in the township based on all that criteria, and take into consideration that they have an upgraded kitchen, a renovated kitchen, they have upgraded baths, they have a finished basement. Putting all that together, and I'll put together a CMA for them, and I'll also show them what recently sold so they have an idea of what to expect. And then go back to them, and then I'll tell them how I'm going to do my marketing, give them some information on Weichert Realtors, and my path on the journey along the way, and what I will do to guide them along the way.
Tell us a little bit about Weichert.
Weichert is still, in my opinion, it's a mom and pop shop. Jim lives in New Jersey, Jim Weichert. His son is running a lot of the business. I had a choice to go to any other company. I decided to stay with Weichert go with Weichert because of that. They have incredible training program, unlike some of the others. Jim puts a lot of money into our marketing. He puts a lot of money into online, keeping us in the forefront, getting us out there with our syndications. When you list with Weichert, your home is listed on dozens of other sites. And the whole thing is about exposure. And when you're out there, your home is visual more, and you'll get the most vision on it, you'll get the most views on it, and that's what's most important. And Jim has given us the ability, by spending a lot of money on those syndications, to give us the ability to help us sell the house sooner for our seller.
Nice. Well said.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's great. No, because I was going to say, if I were selling my house and you came in, I would want to know about Weichert. I want to know about what the digital, are we equal to Zillow? But whoa, past it by far. I've been learning all this, so I'm like fascinated by it.
Well, another thing about Weichert, we have a call center. There are many times, like I'll give you an example. I showed a house to a client last summer, and it was a Saturday around 11:15. And we're out looking at houses, and it was out in Montgomery Township somewhere, and it was kind of quiet and desolate out there, but the house next door is for sale. And I tried calling the phone number on the sign and got no answer. And I wasn't calling, the agent's number wasn't even on the sign, it was just the company, the storefront. So I tried calling, no answer, and she finally said to me, forget it, I'm not interested. With Weichert, we have a call center that when you go online, you see a house, you call, you get a live body that answers the phone immediately. With that, they will connect you with an agent. If me as the selling agent, if I'm not available and I'm at another appointment, they'll give the phone call to another agent in the office that could answer the questions about the home, schedule that appointment immediately, because you want to, as a seller, you want the buyers that want to look at your house to be scheduled immediately.
Yeah.
Strike when the iron's hot. When they're interested, you got to grab them.
Right.
And I think that's what's unique with Weichert. I don't know any other company that does this, that you call and you'll get a live body and you'll get an appointment immediately.
I saw something today over there. It was actually some type of an award, and it said that Weichert got 100% on this, where the competitors had 54%. And it said that a response to a call in or click for a representative happens within 3 minutes.
Yes.
And every time within
Yes.
3 minutes.
Because people out there,
That is amazing, but it's smart. I mean, if somebody wants to talk to a real estate agent, then make sure they do.
If I'm looking for something,
any reason.
right? If I'm looking for a product online and I click a page says, "Call me, I'm interested in this product," A day or two goes by. Am I still interested? Probably
No.
not. I'll be like the heck with it. Or I found another avenue to take and,
Right.
and find another way to get that product because
Yeah.
nobody got back to me. It's so important to be there for the consumer and answer their questions and get the appointment so they could see the house. I just think that's one unique thing about Weichert that I think is really important.
Okay. So now let's talk about the selling procedure. Okay. So then you're there, you've come by, you've gotten the comparative market analysis for them. You're ready to go back for your second meeting. What happens then?
I'll discuss Weichert and all the items I previously told you about what our syndication is and how we market. I will tell them that I pay for a photographer to come out and take professional photos. I love my little camera,
Yeah.
but I don't take good photos. He's got all the lenses and the flashes, and he makes a home look beautiful. And
Right.
I'll go over them with people about how to get it staged and get it ready. The decluttering, put the personal things away. We want to, although this is their home and it's lived in, got to get it ready for the next buyer. They want to visualize their things in here. So the most things we could put away, if there's too much furniture in a room, let's just put some either in a basement or in the garage. Let's try to make it more open looking, less cluttered, less busy. Cleaning up the outside, the front, the first impression. Get rid of dirt, the leaves that are from the winter time, especially this time of year, get that all done. And just go over things that they could do, tips to get the house ready to be shown and get it ready for the photographer. And then we'll schedule the open house and schedule showings and keep them occupied, keep them updated as to what's going on and comments that you receive, negative or positive, whatever it may be.
The negatives are more important than the positives.
Yes.
I mean, honestly, one thing I have a very strong visual of what you were saying about cleaning up the outside of the house, especially in our area here in Central Jersey. For the last year, it's been so rainy. So I have a joke because I'm obsessed with liquid chlorine. I think I told this about the first
Yes,
day.
you
I'm
did.
still obsessed
I
with it.
remember
Now
that.
it's really actually I backsplashed it onto my car. So don't do that. I made a post yesterday. It was so funny. Why my car is so important to me. But anyway. When you get that algae looking green, which happens all the time, especially in the last year in our area because it's been so wet.
Yes.
It is literally, I always say this, but I haven't said it on the air in a year, okay? You can get a whole big 5-gallon thing at the liquid, at the pool supply place. And literally I'm talking, you could divide it by 4 and you could do your entire house without having to ever touch anything, rinse, sponge, nothing. You just pump and spray it like that.
Wow.
And you just stand back and it's completely clean. So and my sister-in-law, my sister's sister-in-law, I won't say which one. She has a house. I keep seeing it in my head because I went to visit them a couple years ago, and I just could not believe that this white house had this green algae all over it that they just didn't know how to get rid of it. And it literally is $2, and it was the whole house would be done.
Wow.
Yeah, had to share that because if you're getting ready to list your house because she's telling you that there's no inventory and you're going to call Dottie Polak at the Flemington Weichert, you just have to remember some of those things. I like those kinds of things because people who are selling get so nervous about having to undertake so much.
Yeah.
And
it is overwhelming.
Yeah,
It is very
especially if they've been
overwhelming.
there in a house for a long time. But then when you think about what you're saying, it's to make it more generic so that the people walk in, think of it as their house. We were talking about this morning as well. Just cleaning it up a little bit, but little by little is going to be something you have to do anyway.
It is an emotional tie.
Yeah.
You've raised your family there, or maybe it's a family's home or something like that, a family member's home, a parent's home or something. You were there as a child. The hardest part is to separate it and think of it as a product that you're selling. And it helps to kind of get into that mindset. And it's you got to fix the product to make it look the best you can on your budget to get it most appealing for people. And, but it is tough. I know it's tough.
I remember, I know Vicki mentioned it. I think you said it, when the office manager. She was saying that when she's talking to someone who's selling, she always says, "What was it that made you buy this house?" So that you can feel that emotion from them,
Yes.
because then you can start from there, and then you can say, "Oh, I even noticed this about it. My, blah, 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 blah." But yeah, it's emotional. And then it's kind of fun because, you think about the new buyers, the fact that they usually come in and they're going to buy something, and then they're going to get grow their family perhaps. Once you get that rapport with them, then they can be your lifelong real estate
Yeah.
agent. You could watch them
Yes.
go from first house to house with a baby to going to retirement.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I'm getting a kick out of watching everybody in the office, how long they've been there and how many people that they've actually followed through their lives.
Yes. Yes.
it
You
is
do
personal.
You do become a part of their life.
Yeah.
And yeah,
That's
it's
so
'cause
great.
it's an important stage in their life to move, no matter what the situation is. And you're there to be there to listen, to speak, sound, let them sound off of you, on you. You're there for whatever frustrations they're going through, just to be there to listen and help out the best we can.
Tell us a little bit about when you are actually working in the office to explain to them what happens if they are interested in calling a real estate office without really knowing who they're going to get as an agent.
Yeah, you don't know who you're going to get when when somebody answers the phone in the office. You could interview them, ask them how long they've been an agent, ask to meet with them in the office. That's always a good idea. Definitely meet in the office, and yeah, you could definitely interview.
And sometimes it's really true. Like sometimes the buyers have no idea who to reach out to. That's why I'm trying to introduce you to Dottie Polak here from the Flemington and Weichert office. But it's the same with sellers and buyers. They can just make a generic phone call to Weichert and they'll get an agent.
Yes.
Or they can kind of research you and get to know you and, like you said, interview you.
Yes.
And then decide if they have the right channel, I guess, so to speak.
Mm-hmm. Most sellers will interview more than one agent.
Okay.
Usually what they'll do is from a different company.
Mm-hmm.
Get the feel of that company, what can they do for them. Buyer's agents, I have not had anybody interview another buyer's agent.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's mostly sellers that do that.
So, like, if someone came into your open house and they did not have an agent, you would just explain that you're available to be the agent, and then
Yeah.
if you have a good relationship, they'll trust you to help you get that done. Yeah. So, what else would you want to tell everybody? You got a couple more minutes, and we have to go to break. Things like I love tips. I love the tips stuff.
Tips, well, especially for sellers and getting the house ready to sell. I
And
think it's
seasonal too.
important.
Like,
Seasonal.
what's coming up.
This time of year, there's just a lot of dead leaves around. Keep
Mm-hmm.
the house with a good first impression. If you could put a nice new mat out in front of the door, maybe put a wreath on the door, just to give a little pop of color or something like that. I think that's important.
Yes.
Keep the driveway clean. A lot of times this time of year, you'll have, especially if you have a dog, and a dog goes on the grass and then walks on the driveway, and you got mud prints everywhere. Try to, if you the best you can, clean that off, and just keep a really good first impression for people when they pull up.
What about carpet?
Well, you can ask people that come in to either take their shoes off or wear shoe booties to keep the carpet clean. Yeah.
Do people get like creeped out about carpet, like buyers in old houses with? I'm just curious about carpet versus like hardwood floors and stuff.
A little bit, especially if there's a child, a baby. They don't want the baby crawling around on old carpeting.
Yeah.
They'll want to rip it out. I have some people that have bad allergies that would rather hardwood as opposed to carpeting because of that.
So if they have a home, like would you ever tell anyone that they should try to pull if they had hardwood underneath the carpets and the carpets were older? Would you tell them to take them out or not?
If the wood was in excellent condition, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Pull that carpet, get it out.
Yeah. And what about painting?
If they can afford it, try to keep neutral colors. Get rid of the bold, because I think that's more attractive in photos. It's more attractive to the buyer.
Yeah.
It's
Absolutely.
less work they need to do.
I think also I remember if my Ann Thornton, MSI Plumbing and Remodeling, don't forget her. She gave me a great tip one day. She said that when she's walking with a like kind of a home inspection, or if the plumbing is being fixing somebody's house, that she can explain to the owners or the buyers that they can tell by how much the house was professionally maintained over the years, just by things like my house, I still have those old round spigot things, the red ball thing that you crack off and then you got a problem, where there's the levers
There's
now
the
and
levers
stuff.
now, yes.
So like there's little tips that people can see. So when a seller is selling the house, like if they could be mindful of things like that. Like I was just at a house recently that it was almost like a fire pit type of thing. There was just a bunch of stuff thrown like it was supposed to be burned, but it never got burned. And my feeling was that they don't finish what they start. Like that's what I was
Interesting.
thinking, you know?
Yeah.
So I'm thinking about tips for those people out there who would be calling and listing and selling of what they could do to just make sure they're aware of it from the buyer's perspective.
Another idea with that in mind is your furnace. Get a service check.
Ah,
Change filters if
nice.
you need to.
Right.
That's always a good idea before an inspection.
Yeah. Because if they pull it out, they could tell it hasn't been serviced in like
They're gonna
5 years.
The buyer's probably going to ask you to do it anyway, so you might as well get that done ahead of time. Any filters, water filters, it could change
Duh.
the water pressure. I would change all that out and get it all ready.
Very good. That's very, very nice. I'm very smart. What about pools?
Well, this time of year they're closed. There are some companies that will do pool inspections in the wintertime. How they do it, I don't know.
What do they do?
You can't turn on the
Yeah, you can't because
Filter.
the water's out.
right. So, well, it's just like air conditioning. You can't test the unit in the wintertime either. The air compressor, when it's below a certain temperature.
Wait, let's talk about seller disclosures for a second too. That's something really worth talking about,
Yes.
isn't it?
Yes.
I was just talking to one of the people in the office, and she was talking about when someone has their house for sale by owner, that they probably don't even realize that they are putting themselves in such a liability position by not having like the seller disclosure forms representing what they know, what they don't know by the time they go through the whole process. Can you talk about that when you're listing? What is that seller's disclosure form?
The seller's disclosure gives information as to the knowledge, like you said, of what the seller knows about the house. How old is the roof? How old is the hot water heater? Is there a septic? When was the last time the septic was pumped? When was the last time you changed the hot water heater? How old is it? Amp service in a house, electrical amp service, different things like that. If there's termite maintenance warranty on the house, that gives the buyer an idea as to the ages and know what to expect. How old is the roof? How long they've lived there? A lot of times when it's an estate sale, the seller doesn't necessarily live there for a very long time. So they really won't have knowledge unless they do remember, oh, I remember dad or mom replaced the roof 10 years ago, and then they could give that information. But many times they don't know. In a foreclosure, they don't have any information at all because the bank took over. So you're not going to have any seller's disclosure at that point. And you're going to rely on your inspector to tell you the age of the items.
Wow. So then if you are a seller and you have completed the seller disclosure, then the buyer gets a chance to look at it.
Correct.
And when if the buyer looks at it and doesn't like what they see, what do they do? Just walk away from it, or do they ask the realtor to get
Yeah.
clarification?
They'll ask me to get clarification on something. Dottie, I see it says this. Could you check on it? Because it doesn't look like the roof is 5 years old. It looks like it's 20 years old. Could you check that?
Yeah, well,
they'll
that's part
ask.
of why, when we go back to needing a real estate agent, that's one of the things that you do. Like,
Yes.
basically, if you're just walking in to try to buy a home off a internet search, you're not going to, you probably wouldn't even know to ask for the seller disclosure form.
Correct.
And then if you were lucky enough to get it, then you wouldn't know what to do if you read something that you didn't like because it's totally hypersensitive.
I've seen a lot of for sale by owner deals fall apart, and the next thing you know, it's on the market.
Of course. Well, it was funny because we were talking about this, and if you're out there, you'll probably laugh if you're a for sale by owner person, or if you're thinking about selling your house by yourself. We were talking about it, and I said, my mom is selling her house by owner. But the truth of the matter is she has no intention of really selling it by owner, and she doesn't want to. It's just that she doesn't want to list it yet because she's one of those people who are waiting for the spring that I found out I'm going to go back and tell her about listing it. But anyway, also important, she has no interest in anyone in her house without a real estate agent. She has no interest in anybody coming and making an offer to her that she doesn't have a mediator for. So like you say, when they fall apart and then they go into a normal listing, I think there's a lot more to the for sale by owner personality than just I'm not paying a real estate agent. It's not
Yes.
about that. There's so
I'll
much
tell you
more
what,
to it.
I would be concerned about strangers just walking in off the street.
Yes.
That is probably my most concern.
And there's no way to do the kind of amazing marketing for open houses. Like you say, if you didn't want them walking in any day of the week, any hour of the day,
Right.
Then if you're going to try to do an open house, you're not going to get the kind of, Weichert advertising budget to be able to hit through all those
Exactly.
Trulia, Zillow. That's where all these buyers are coming from.
Yes.
And I would say it's kind of interesting because I learned something interesting about Zillow too today, which was that when a for sale by owner person lists their home, which of course they all do. I did it for my mom, right? They're still licensed real estate agents that pay for the space. So they come up on that thing. So I was confused as to why my mother, I can see the analytics. I could see, 15 people saw it today, 0 saves, right? What I found out though is that say the buyer who's been looking at my mom's house on Zillow wanted to go over and see my mom's house. When they click to find an agent, basically that agent gets their lead, meaning my mom's buyer, and then when they see it's for sale by owner, they take the buyer to another property that's listed. So my mom is being intercepted on buyers just because of the way that the system works. So the for sale by owner is not doing himself, or my mother's not doing herself any favors.
Right.
So I've literally learned this process in my own training with my mother. I can't wait to talk to her.
Well,
'Cause
what I'll do is if I get somebody who wants to look at it for sale by owner, I'll call them and say, hi, I have a buyer that wants to look at your house. Are you
Yep.
going to pay me commission if they decide to buy it?
And I'm sure they
Most
say
of the time
yes
they
half
do.
the time, right? Because
Yes.
it's not, there's partly about the money. Maybe they were insulted because someone told them their property wasn't worth what they thought. Then they got a chance to find out their own way, find out the hard way. We'll be right back. I'm Jeanne Murphy. This is Talented People.
This is Tony Clark.
That's Tony.
Planner at Patton Heidi and Associates. Americans believe they should be in charge of their own future, how they will live tomorrow. Since 1894, Ameriprise Financial has worked for their clients' futures, helping millions of Americans retire on their terms, when they want, where they want, doing what they want. Today, Patton Heidi and Associates, a financial advisory practice of Ameriprise Financial Services, Inc., remains true to the vision of always putting clients first. We are ready to help you put a confident retirement more within reach. Put the strength of a leader in retirement planning to work for you through a personal one-to-one relationship. Patton Heidi and Associates will work with you to develop a plan to help you pursue your retirement goals. Call today at 908-713-6600. Office is located at 1318 Route 31 North, Annandale, New Jersey. Investment advisory products and services are made available through Ameriprise Financial Services, Inc., a registered investment advisor, Ameriprise Financial Services, Inc., member FINRA and SIPC.
Did you know that 1 in 5 people are affected by mental illness? NAMI Hunterdon is the locally affiliate for NAMI, the National Alliance on Mental Illness. We are all volunteers, and all our programs are free of charge. We offer Family to Family, a 12-week course for families that have an adult member with a mental illness. Another popular program is In Our Own Voice, where individuals who are living with mental illness discuss their challenges and their progress in overcoming those challenges. Another course we offer is Basics, a 6-week course for families with a child or an adolescent who has experienced mental illness. We also have a monthly support group for families on the 3rd Thursday of every month. Please call NAMI Hunterdon at 908-284-0500 for more information about any of our programs or to join. NAMI Hunterdon, the voice for mental health in Hunterdon County.
You're listening to WHCR-DB, HunterdonChamberRadio.com. Brought to you by the Hunterdon County Chamber of Commerce, the voice of business.
Are you struggling to find the right person to stay in that critical role in your company? Trying to attract and retain millennials? Regional Personnel is your staffing solution. Located in Lebanon, New Jersey, Regional Personnel is an ASA-certified, privately held staffing and recruiting firm providing you with everything from temporary to permanent employees. As ASA-certified professionals, we employ the latest tools and techniques to find, screen, and present to you the best talent that fits your needs. The result? Access to top talent in the shortest time with the lowest chance of turnover. We guarantee it. So call Regional today at 908-534-8113 or visit us on the web at regionalpersonnel.com.
Everybody over there, get on up. Everybody right there, get into it. Everybody right there, get involved. Everybody get.
Did you know the Hunterdon County Chamber of Commerce has over 20 active committees that you can participate in? Committees range from focus on business and government to economic development to events like our annual Business Expo. Contact the Chamber for more information today at 908-782-7115 or email us at info@hunterdon-chamber.org. The Hunterdon County Chamber of Commerce, the voice of business.
Said before was really interesting. Hi, back to Talented People. Here I'm Jeanne Murphy. It's already 3:50 in the afternoon. My guest is Dottie Polak from the Flemington Weichert office. She's been kind of mentoring me on this process. I'm having so much fun. So we wanted you to take the rest of the space here to tell everybody a little bit about what you could do as service-wise again and how to get in touch with you.
You could get in touch with me. My cell is 609-357-8436. If you're a for sale by owner or considering for sale by owner, give me a call. Let me show you what we can do and how we could get your house marketed and get it out there and get it the most exposure that it needs. And to guide you along the process so that you're not putting yourself at a liability or handling things the wrong way. I'll guide you in that direction.
That's great. What about buyers?
Buyers, give me a call. I love buyers, especially first-time home buyers. We have a good time. If you're a move-up buyer, we could get your house listed and get you looking at new homes. Hopefully get yours under contract before we put an offer on something else.
Can you talk about that just for a quick second for someone? Because again, if you're watching this right now, which is February 2019, in this area of Central Jersey, it is we need inventory.
We need inventory.
So if someone's thinking, oh, this year I want to buy a new home and upgrade,
Sell my current house.
So
the best position to be in is get your house under contract. You don't want to go into, especially if it's low inventory, have a home sale contingency. Most likely your offer may not be accepted if you come in and say, hi, I got to sell my house first.
Right.
That seller of that house might say, well, you know what? There's 5 other buyers that don't have a home sale contingency. So it gets a little iffy when there's a low inventory. But, we work through it. We make our way through it.
I love when it's the perfect house for the person, when you see that, you could feel that they found that perfect house just with a look on their face when they walk in, right?
And they keep walking around and talking. It's an awesome feeling. It's
yeah.
like, yeah, this is the one. They've got it. And you could see them in it. You could visualize them in there. I always tell people, though, don't put your furniture in here yet. Don't visualize yet. Let's get through the process. It's emotional.
Yeah.
Try not to be emotional because this may not work out. Let's just move on. But let's just get through each step at a time.
And then once they get there, that perfect day, right?
Yes, moving day.
Well, we're a little ahead of the game, so I was just going to say, is there anything else you want to give any suggestion to in a seller disclosure or anything to do with an attorney? Or how do they find an attorney?
The best bet is to use an attorney in New Jersey. You have so many things that do come up that it's best to handle it, let the attorney handle it. Their costs are minimal. Mm-hmm. I think it's best to have their advice and let them handle things along the way. I have a few attorneys I work with. I have my favorites because I like how they handle the buyers and sellers and how to handle their clients and keep me abreast of what's going on. And so I could give them that information also. Give me a call. I'd like to help you out.
Yep.
Get your house listed. Again, inventory is low. So we need some homes to be on the market. And if they're right, they're going to go quick.
So sell your home if you're thinking about it right now. I'm going to go back and talk to my mother about her for sale by owner, too. That whole thing. So, Dottie, I'm serious. All right? Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Jeanne. Had a good
so
time.
much fun.
Love you.
I love you, too. And I love you guys out there. Thanks for watching Talented People. Have a great afternoon.
You're listening to WHCR DB, HunterdonChamberRadio.com. Brought to you by the Hunterdon County Chamber of Commerce, the voice of business.